This is Zach with the Average Christian. Wouldn't you like to fix the world right now? Wouldn't you like to have everybody do everything right and all of us, even people who aren't religious, are trying to look for some utopia where it just fixes all of the evil and all the wrong. It's one of the great things about heaven is there won't be any evil. There won't even be any awareness of it because it won't exist anymore. In the meantime, though, you can't fix the world. That's not to discourage you. Do the very best you can. We are sent out as lights to be an example and to do the best we can by other people. But the first thing you got to do before you can ever go around and start trying to help other people is examine you. And look in the mirror every day. So I know the world is messed up and there are things that we all want to fix and go for it. Spend your life. That's what the Lord wants us to do. But first, make sure that you line up. If not, you quickly fall into that temptation. Galatians chapter 6 talks about it. Matthew chapter 7 talks about it, where you're looking at everybody else and what's wrong with everybody else, which is the easy thing to do. And also makes me less aware of where I need help. So in 2 Corinthians 13, he says, examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. And by what? By the word. This is your litmus test. Find out if you measure up. If you love the Lord, you appreciate what he's done for you, you want to do everything you possibly can, not just to do what he says, but to make him happy, to please him, to glorify him, to do what he wants because he deserves it. So you test yourself based on this and you see, I think of Jesus. He lived here perfectly as a human being. There's some people that don't believe that, but as best I can tell, he was fully human and fully God at the same time. Can't explain it, but know it. And how much did he have to examine himself? Can you imagine having to pay it so much attention to the way you're living in order to live perfectly? Well, so if the Lord's telling me here to examine yourselves, he knows what that means, to test yourselves. Or do you not realize this about yourselves, that Jesus Christ is in you? I represent, that name Christian just sort of gets thrown around. It's in the title of what we're doing here, The Average Christian, but that is bearing the name of Christ. He is in me. The Spirit, God the Father are in me. How do I represent that? So I need to examine every day as that representative. That's another motivation, unless indeed you fail to meet the test. He says here to these brethren, I hope you will find out that we have not failed the test. Wouldn't it be, what a failure. That'd be terrible if America is, self-destructs. It would be terrible if a lot of different things happen, but what's absolutely worse is terrible if you lose your soul because you're so busy paying attention to what's wrong with everybody else. You forget to look inside. And hopefully we can encourage everybody to do that. If I do it and you do it and everybody does it, then we self-heal, we're self-aware, and that would be ideal. So try not to get too down. Try not to think about fixing the entire world. Do what you can with what you have and what's available to you. Examine you and affect those that you come into contact with. And that's really, for many of us, the best we can do. And I hope that that's an encouragement to you.